some signs of some real offensive punch in this one. Best game by far for Gaborik and Bouchard. They finally score a home playoff goal, but they come up short. They lose tonight 3-1 and fall behind 3-1 in the series. Colorado will go home with a chance to clinch and move on. We're looking forward to the Red Wings and the Mighty Ducks as well. But that's it for now. From St. Paul, we send it back to John in the studio.
Ducks go for the sweep of Detroit 35 minutes from now. Until then, all your scores and highlights and analysis and goals as they happen in games still going on. Ray Ferraro and Barry Melrose. And Ray, coming into the series, many wondered if the Wild, after Game 1, would make this a long one. It appears they won't.
They play very hard. They hang in there with Colorado. They give them everything that they can handle. They've had a lot of chances. Patrick Waugh just looked exceptional, in particular the last 2 games. When they go back to Minnesota, they have all their momentum with their fans, and Waugh just shut the door. Joe Sakic had a subpar regular season. Tony Granato told me at the end of the year, he said, he's getting lots of chances. Don't worry about Joe, and he looked great tonight.
And how do they finish them off if they go back to Denver in Game 5, Barry? What is their M.O.?
Well, I think when they look at the tape, and Ray mentioned a little bit, I don't think Tony's going to be happy with the chances that Patrick Waugh is having to save.
Yeah, right.
I think they're going to look ahead to the next series, who they're going to play. They're going to be playing against a much more offensive team. And if Patrick getting this much work against the Wild, who's a defensive team, all of a sudden you start playing Dallas and teams like that, that's a little different story. So I think Tony will want to cut down the chances, but they're just going to make sure no one's overconfident. We got to win 4 games. 3 games doesn't do the job. It's all the old coach stuff over and over again, but just make sure the team is ready, and they will be. They got Sakic coming back is such a difference. He hasn't been there all year for them. Now he's back to what he was before.
Okay, they try to wrap that up on Saturday, up 3-1 on Minnesota. Meanwhile, plenty of action tonight. 6 games in all in the Stanley Cup playoffs. A big game in Toronto. Flyers and Maple Leafs. No McGillney, concussion-like syndrome. And Pat Quinn looking on early in the first. Mark Recchi, driver 8, take a break. How many bad angle goals have we seen in these playoffs?
I know the goalies are looking for the pass, but it's so rare. These are great goaltenders, and they don't get square to the shot. Here, Darcy Tucker, he made himself known early, didn't he?
It's Jeremy Roenick and more hits. This one's getting real nasty, and you wonder what the effect would be on the next series. Whoever wins this series, say they play Ottawa next.
Well, you're not worried about being hurt, because if you're not there for the next season, you're going to be healthy. Right there, Travis Green in the lineup, bad ribs, playing with the McGillney injury, and scores a beautiful shorthanded goal.
1-1, Jeremy Roenick again. Right along the goal line, deflects it off of Belfour. Flyers leading 2-1. They controlling this game. This is what, the 7th shot on goal for Toronto. Desjardins bumps into Czechmanek, and Sundin scores, right?
Great shot by Sundin, but you see Roberts had pushed Desjardins down. He slid into Czechmanek, who was knocked off balance a little bit. Great shot by Sundin, and the Maple Leafs push it into overtime.
Maple Leafs now go on the power play. Moments ago, Simone Gagne, goaltender interference, and Barry, they've been crashing the nets all game long. But again, right now, Leafs on the power play in overtime. But as you just saw on ESPN2, Colorado Avalanche go up 3-1 on the Wild. Let's go back out to Steve Levy and Darren Pang.
All right, John, thanks very much. And we are standing by with the captain of the Colorado Avalanche, Joe Sakic, and he joins us from just outside the Avs dressing room, taking a commanding 3-1 lead now in the series. Joe, so much was made of scoring the first goal, especially against this Minnesota club, that they would struggle coming from behind. You get the first 2 goals in a 2-minute span. How much of a difference did you notice in Minnesota after that?
Not much. They were flying tonight, and we really hung on out there. And I don't think it was our best performance. Patrick made some huge saves for us to keep us in, keep us with the lead. But it was nice to get that early start. But I mean, they didn't change their game. They were coming tonight. They played a great game.
Hey, Joe, I know the playoffs are a game of making adjustments on the fly, and it seemed to me like you in particular and probably Peter and Hejduk were getting the puck through the neutral zone with a little bit more speed. What kind of adjustment was made there?
Well, not much. I think we just wanted to slow down. I think we were getting ahead of ourselves and getting too far ahead of the D-man. I think you wanted to stay a little patient and stay close to the D, give him that short pass, and he can get your speed.
Joe, let's go to the goals that you scored in this game, because I know that this shot that you have is a tough one, but man, you made some good moves right here.
Yeah, the first one I must have surprised him, because I was falling, so I don't think he was expecting that. The second one, it would have been a 3-on-2, so I think the D backed off a little bit and gave me the shot, and I just took it, and luckily went in.
Rob Blake was following up on that play. Huh? Pretty dangerous D you've got there.
Yeah, no question. He can skate, and I saw him moving there, and I think the D did as well, because if he came to me, then Robbie would have just had a breakaway.
Joe, we'll see you Saturday at the Pepsi Center on ABC. Thanks.
All right, thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks, Joe.
In the Minnesota Wild's brief existence, no opponent has more points against them than Joe Sakic of Colorado. Let's send it back to you.
So 2 shots on goal for Joe Sakic. Both go in. Welcome our fans out in Colorado who now join us here on ESPN2. Ducks and Wings coming up at the bottom of the half hour, 10:30 Eastern time, 8:30 your time in Denver as the Ducks go for the sweep. Gary Thorne and Bill Clement have the call for Game 4 out in Anaheim. Boys?
John, who would have thought? Standing here waiting to see whether or not the Stanley Cup champions are going to go down in 4 games to the number 7 seed in this conference. Pretty amazing, and it's Ben Giguère, of course. Detroit Bills just got to find a way to score if they're going to win one.
Amazingly, last week we were asking ourselves a very simple question: can the Detroit Red Wings win another Stanley Cup? Today we are standing here asking ourselves an even simpler question: can the Detroit Red Wings even win one game? They've been completely frustrated by Jean-Sébastien Giguère. And when you're down 3-0 in a series, as far as I'm concerned, the Red Wings need help. They're not going to be able to win this series on their own. They need Giguère to help them, and he is showing no signs that he wants to pitch in for their cause.
That means the big boys of the Detroit Red Wings have got to find a way to get it done. The Hull line has done nothing. They've played a -8 so far, and Fedorov has simply been tied up just the way the Ducks planned it.
Yeah, it's amazing to think that the #1 offensive team in the NHL through the regular season, the Detroit Red Wings, have scored a grand total of 4 goals in 3 games. Now, their main guy's got to get going. Brendan Shanahan this season has taken on a leadership role, so you know that he wants to try to get it done. We chatted with Brendan Shanahan before they took the warm-up, and he assessed their chances like this.
Obviously, not a lot of teams in history have done this, come back from a 3-0 deficit, but I don't think it's your typical 3-0 series so far. And I think just knowing the group of players we have in the dressing room and the team that we have, we're confident if a team can do it, it's us.
Well, certainly when you have that many future Hall of Famers all playing together, if any group's going to do it, this is the team that can do it. I think, Bill, everybody's in agreement here for both clubs. The importance of the first goal for Detroit to start putting some kind of a mental chink into the armor of the Ducks.
Well, not only a mental thing, but it's actually a tangible thing. You shake the Ducks out of their system, which is defense first, 5 men up on the attack, 5 men back on the retreat. So, yeah, when you score first, as long as they can maintain a lead for a significant amount of time, it will help the Detroit Red Wings. But clearly, they feel, it's interesting when you talk to the Red Wings, and we did today, they feel as if they've played good hockey. They're not disappointed in the way they played. They're just disappointed in the results.
Yep, and Giguère, I mean, there's the story. It's simple as that. If you've got a .970 save percentage, then you're going to win some games, and that's exactly what's happened here. He is ready to go in net tonight. Any discussion that Curtis Joseph would not be playing in this game, I don't know where that conceivably could have come from, but it was out there for a while. But Cujo's going to be in net. He has to be.
He has to be in net, and he actually has to play better. Has he played poorly? No, but the fact does remain. The guy at the other end has played better than Curtis Joseph. The numbers look great for Cujo. The results aren't there. He is going to have to come up with one gem of a performance if Giguère's on his game.
So, John, that sets the stage. A very simple entry tonight. For the Detroit Red Wings, it's win or be gone.
Thank you, Gary. Looking forward to your guys' call out there in Anaheim. The Red Wings were the highest scoring team, as you mentioned, during the regular season. But again, just 4 goals in the series. The Hall of Fame forwards, as you can see here, to be Shanahan, Hall, Fedorov, and Yzerman have combined for just 1 goal and 40 shots off Giguère. Fedorov was quoted in the papers as saying that we're a very angry team. I won't get into it now. I'll get into it later. Any idea what he could possibly be talking about, Ray, why they're so angry?
Well, they should be angry they're down 3-0 is really all I can think about. I mean, if they have issues in the room, that's another whole ball of wax to look at. But this is a team that has obviously shown some frustration. You never see Steve Yzerman show any on the ice. At the end of Game 3, he just absolutely destroyed the penalty box. And this is a guy that, you know, is the leader of this team, Barry. They rarely get they're rustled, but they are right now.
Oh, he's in their kitchen right now, that goaltender. He's got them thinking, and that's not a good sign when goal scorers think.
And what about the rookie head coach, Dave Lewis? Much has been made about him, not so much lately as it was during the preseason and the first 20 games, replacing the legend Scotty Bowman. What's on his table right now?
Two guys are going to take the heat if the Detroit Red Wings lose the series, and that's Cujo. No matter how good in numbers he does, he's not getting the W's, and we've laughed about it, but hockey is an alphabet sport, not a number sport, and that's W's. That's all that matters. And Dave Lewis, who replaced Scotty Bowman, he's going to be talked about not being a good enough coach, a motivator, a line match, or whatever. But the interesting thing, Dave Lewis was on the 75 team for the Islanders that did come back and win. But the funny part is, Lauren Henning is an assistant coach on the Ducks. So Dave Lewis will be talking about, we've done it once, I know it can be done. Lauren Henning's in the dressing room with the Ducks saying, look, I was on the team that did it. We haven't won nothing yet. So we got compounding motivation by both players who are on that winning team.
And we talked to Mike Babcock, the Anaheim head coach, before the series. He was very confident, almost cocky going in.
And that's the way Babcock is. I played against him in junior, and he was a really intense guy. And he told us that, Detroit only had one more win than us in the second half of the season, which kind of surprised us. But Babcock has gotten all the line combinations he's wanted, while Lewis is a rookie coach on the other side and has to try and find some offense. Babcock's been able to get his Ducks to execute his game plan as well as they have. Certainly it doesn't hurt when you have Jaguar doing everything in goal that he has done.
And the one Duck that's most important is Ruchin. Ruchin's went head-to-head against Fedorov all series long. He's owned Fedorov. Ruchin plays more than a lot of defensemen on the Ducks. That's how much
Keith
that guy's
Carney
on
as
the
well,
ice.
eh?
Yeah,
Keith Carney's done a great job.
And only twice in the last 50 years has the Stanley Cup champion been swept the following playoffs, and never in the first round. Rangers in the conference final back in '95, and then back in 1976, the Flyers swept by Montreal. But never has this happened before, by the champions getting swept in the very first round, especially by a team called the Ducks. Coming up more, the Blues and Canucks. We have a highlight from there. Developing situation in St. Louis as Paul Kariya, cha-cha-cha, looks to put away the champs.
Hey, Prima Cock! Get off the ice! It's more like Prima Donna Cock! Hey, does anybody know the Russian word for loser? It's Prima Cock!
Ladies and gentlemen, visiting from Western Russia, the parents of right winger Alex Primakov.
Want to get away? Now you can. Fly Southwest Airlines with fun fares as low as $49 each way.
You are now free to move about the country.
Hey, guys.
Hey, what's up, man?
Well?
Well, what?
Aren't you going to say something?
About what?
Forget it.
What's the matter?
I can't believe I changed my hair and you guys don't even notice.
You're not a woman. Why use a woman's gel? Introducing Suave for Men Sport Gel. Holds just as good as her brand for half the price. New Suave for Men.
Ever try to get a home equity line from a bank? That's why we started eLoan. It's a better way to get cash out of your house. Needless paperwork? Gone. Lender fees? Gone. Waiting for a decision? Ours takes minutes. At eLoan, we believe everyone is entitled to the right loan at the lowest possible rate, based on your credit, not your negotiating skills. You get your cash fast, at a great rate. A bank shouldn't come between you and your money. That's why there's eLoan. Apply now at eLoan.com or call 1-800-ELOAN22.
Welcome back. Ducks and Red Wings at the bottom of the half hour. Ray Ferraro, Barry Melrose. I'm John Butchercross. Other games going on right now. The St. Louis Blues and the Vancouver Canucks. The Blues in a great position to control this series, up 2-1. And here they come in St. Louis. Dan Cloutier, focus on him. And what's Brent Simple doing right here, Ray?
He's done this before. This in the regular season. He's done it a couple of times. He's trying to stick handle it through the crease. He doesn't do it. Here's a big break for the Canucks. Marcus Naslund hasn't scored a goal in the playoffs. He gets it to the front of the net. You can't see Osgood, so obviously he hasn't seen the puck yet, and it's 1-0 Vancouver.
This is his third goal in 16 career playoff games. Ozzy stopped Trevor Linden down low late in the first. Now to the second. Chris Pronger thrown at the net, and Cloutier never saw that one either.
Exact same shot. It was a wrist shot. He's just trying to get it through, not blocked, and got a lucky break.
Moments ago, Doug Waite picks it up. He sees Dallas Drake. He gives it to Dallas Drake, and he shoots left as Cloutier slides away from the puck. And there it is, the St. Louis Blues up 2-1 as Chris Osgood came in with 54 saves on 57 shots. However, Vancouver, Ray, is doing one thing in this series. In this game, they haven't done so far. They are getting shots, almost 20 already. That was an issue the first few games.
They came out very strong. They were very physical in the first period. They got the puck to the Vancouver net, and they were able to forecheck and cycle down low a little bit, which is how Vancouver provides a lot of their offense. One thing that the Canucks have not been able to do is get Todd Bertuzzi into the action offensively. He spent most of his entire series in a man-on-man battle with Barrett Jackman. Jackman's completely in his kitchen. Bertuzzi's so worried about running over Jackman, he's not been a force like he was in the regular season.
Again, St. Louis, Vancouver going on right now. St. Louis on the power play. If something happens in that game or the Maple Leaf Flower game, which is in overtime, we'll show it to you right here up until game time against the Ducks and the Red Wings. Barry, Chris Osgood, he's won a Stanley Cup before, yet he still really does not get a lot of respect as a top-flight NHL goaltender.
Well, we laugh about it a lot. He's a Rodney Dangerfield of goaltenders because he doesn't get any respect, and all he does is win. And he did not play well down the stretch for St. Louis once they got him. Did not play well going into the playoffs. A big worry in St. Louis. But this guy has done everything they can ask. He's playing great. His save percentage and goals against is as good as anybody in the playoffs right now. He's getting the job done. They're very, very confident in this guy right now. They're playing well in front of him. McGinnis is out probably for the series. Mellenby's out with the flu tonight. This team is really showing a lot of character, and they did it all year long. In the past, I cannot say that about the St. Louis Blues, but this season, they look like a team that really battled for each other. Pronger was missed most of the year. Had a lot of injuries. Kachuk was in and out of the lineup, and they just found ways to win. This team showed a lot of character this year.
Okay, meanwhile, the Lightning and the Capitals, the road team, 3 for 3 in this series. Still a big game 4 in this one. The Bolts do not want to go down 3 games to 1. Pick it up here. Nikolai Habibolin in net. He's really the Lightning's most important player, Barry.
Well, he is the most important player, and he wasn't great in game 1 and 2, but he was the guy that got them in the playoffs. Only lost 1 game since February, and that was one of the last games of the year. He must play well for them to have a chance.
And the former Vezina winner, Ole the goalie, Ray.
Yeah, watch his save here. This is when you know Kolzig's at his best. He's out on top of the crease, makes a shot on Dan Boyle. Brad Richards gets it into Modine, square to the shooter here, and Kolzig turns it away.
All right, second period now. We're still scoreless, and Martin St. Louis, what a great individual effort. What great lateral movement from the little guy.
Defensemen aren't supposed to cross their feet when they're playing a one-on-one. That's a bad sign.
Now a 2-on-1 that became a 2-on-0 as Sergei Gonchar did nothing there, and Andrechuk goes to St. Louis.
Nice play by Andrechuk. Here's Vinny Lecavalier, who's really come to play here in the last couple of games. Couple of goals last night, including the winner in overtime. He gets away from Jeff Halpern and puts in his 3rd of the series.
So the road team wins all the games in this series thus far. 2-2, they're tied up going back to Tampa Bay. Lightning power play 0 for 6, 3 for 50 on the power play against the Capitals this year. Jaromir Jagr played a lot of minutes, about 23. He did have 5 shots on goal. But Barry, you didn't see a lot of them in this, which was a pretty big game for the Capitals. They put the Bolts away here. They're in complete control.
They handled Jagr great at the end of the game. I thought Kabina did an unbelievable job in game 3. Really went at him physically. I think Kabina won the game for the Lightning, getting Jagr off the game and then taking the penalty in overtime. So they really know how to play this guy. The Washington Capitals made some mistakes tonight, especially on the power play, which is the best in the NHL in the playoffs, giving up that shorthanded breakaway to Andrechuk. But without a doubt, the guy that has turned this series around for the Tampa Bay Lightning, Martin St. Louis. This guy is a fire plug. He's a guy with courage. He scores big goals. He's fast. He's dangerous every time on the ice. And with him and players feeding off him, Lecavalier's playing better now. Modine's playing better now. Richards is playing better now. All because this little guy got going in game 3.
All right, this is an interesting matchup because the New Jersey Devils, assuming they'll go on to win their series, look at this series very carefully because this is a 3-6 matchup. And if the Bolts go on to win, then they could most likely play Tampa Bay in the next round of the playoffs if everything works out. Again, looking at Jagr and looking how he responded in this game, were you overall happy with his effort in this one?
I've been happy with his effort all series, Ray. I think he's battled hard. I think he's been the most offensive player in the NHL. He's leading the playoff scoring. He's competed. But again, I just love the way Kabina played him yesterday and today.
Yeah, there was only one way to play Jagr, and that's to play him hard, and Kabina was able to do that. And if you allow Jagr to skate all over the place like Tampa did early in the series, you virtually have no chance. He's too big and too skilled. Another Washington Capital that's had a great series is Peter Bondra. I mean, this is the old Peter Bondra. He's flying out there.
Okay, the President Trophy winning Ottawa Senators look to really take control of their series against the Islanders. The big overtime win the other night and looking to go up 3 games to 1 on Long Island. And really the crowd, not much of a factor this year like it was last year. Is it because it's Ottawa and not Toronto? The fans, they really hate Ottawa.
Totally, John. They do not hate Ottawa. Ottawa does not breed passion playing for them or against them.
Well, there's a passionate shot from Mike Fisher. 1-0 Ottawa. Then,
does that mean really fast?
And then Anton Volchenkov. Turn your head and Volchenkov, Barry. The Russian has a goal.
I love this kid. He's a big hitter, throwing some of the biggest hits in the NHL. Just a smart defenseman, throws it at the net, happens to hit snow and goes in.
Okay, 4-on-4 hockey now. The Islanders will use a long bench, and they once again end up using a short bench. Adrian Aucoin played a ton of minutes, and he does score there. Same score now, 2-1 Ottawa. The next goal is a big one. Hossa centering pass in midair to Havlat, but someone else knocks it in, Ray.
Yeah, they love this play. Down low off the half wall to Hossa. He takes it to the net. Kavash is actually in pretty good position, unlike the other night, and he deflects it into his own net. Bad break for the Islanders there. Watch this save by Gar Snow. He's flopping around. I think that can be called Hasek-like.
Definitely. Third period power play for the Islanders, and they think they have a goal, but
nothing's going their way tonight. Watch right here. Skatcher's in front of the net.
Jeez, I don't know.
That is borderline.
Even if it goes in, there's 7 seconds left. They needed a field goal here.
Exactly. They don't get it, and the Sens win 3-1. They're unbeaten their last 17 games on Long Island. These two teams play again tomorrow. Ottawa can wrap it up. Lalime, 21 saves, did not see a lot of action. And after game one, when the Isles were skating and Ottawa came out flat, this series has really turned around for the Sens, and they're looking like the team who had the most points and the most wins during the regular season.
Turned around for 2 reasons, I think, and that's a lack of the power play for the New York Islanders. They've had tons of power plays, 10 in one game they didn't score. They had 2 5-on-3s tonight they did not score. And we get to the guys that are on the power play and getting ice time. Peck has not got a goal. Blake has not got a goal. Parrish has not got a goal. Really, apart from Yashin and some defensemen jumping into play, the Ottawa Senators have shut down all the scores for the New York Islanders.
2 for 26 in the series, and does it matter for Ottawa to wrap this thing up quickly and focus on the next round?
Yeah, you know why I think it does more for a confidence issue than anything else. There's always been questions in the last couple of years whether Ottawa's got enough grit to advance in the playoffs. Well, they've played pretty gritty against the Islanders. Mike Fisher, we saw score a tremendous goal in the game, is one of those forwards. He's had a very good series. He's physical. He goes to the net hard. Ottawa in the last 3 games has played a very methodical style, and that's how Ottawa plays. They use a lot of players. They keep at you with 4 lines. They use their 6 defensemen, and their goaltender gives them the saves when they want to. Ottawa has shut down the Islanders, who haven't been able to skate like they were in game 1 because they're able to get the lead and really take the Islanders skating game out of play.
Yeah, Isles power play, as you mentioned, Barry, 0 for 5 in the game and 2 for 26 in the series. Meanwhile, Toronto and Philadelphia in overtime, still tied, 2-2. Shots in regulation, 37-10 in favor of the Flyers. In overtime, Toronto has 10 shots, as many as they had all game.
They were rested, John. They were rested.
Saving it for late.
Now.
That's right. 2-1. Toronto leads the series. No McGillney, as you can see there on your TV set. Flyers have lost 5 straight road playoff games. They need to win this to even the series at 2. If someone scores, we'll show it to you. We come back, a look at the home life of Darren McCarty as he and his Red Wings try to prevent the sweep, and that girl makes a phone call on her cell phone. We'll look at Darren at home next.
When Bill asked for some help with his retirement, I said, "Well, what's your goal?" He said, "You're looking at it."
We live where you live. Now the same State Farm agent who helped you plan for just in case can help you plan what could be with IRAs and other retirement options.
Looks good to me. Let's go fishing.
For help with banking, insurance, and investing, talk to your agent today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hi, Tito. I hope you enjoy the empanadas and Coke. Love, Mom. Aw.
Hey, man. Something smells good.
Hi, Tito.
Hey, man. What the?
Ever try to get a home equity line from a bank? That's why we started eLoan. It's a better way to get cash out of your house. Needless paperwork? Gone. Lender fees? Gone. Waiting for a decision? Ours takes minutes. At eLoan, we believe everyone is entitled to the right loan at the lowest possible rate, based on your credit, not your negotiating skills. You get your cash fast, at a great rate. A bank shouldn't come between you and your money. That's why there's eLoan. Apply now at eLoan.com or call 1-800-ELOAN22.
Brett Hall, no goals, no assists, -3. He has 12 shots overall. His team needs to win or they'll be swept by the Ducks. Face-off coming up in a